Morning, everybody. So today is exciting because we get to talk about really exciting stuff that can change your life. Okay, I'm done. We're going to talk about your database and how to organize your database. So I've been doing, database management for many years with the real estate world. And one thing I know that every realtor I know has in common is they don't know what the heck they're doing with their databases. And organizing your database will make or break you as a realtor. Like, no question about that. If you want to be efficient, I always talk about being efficient in your business. That's my new word these days, is how do you become efficient so you're not killing yourself? Hey, Andrea, could you let Karina in? So if you're not efficient in your business, you don't have a business. You have a job that runs you. So we'll start off with Mr. Lawson in the beautiful Park City area of Utah, the home of like mountains and stuff like we have in Florida. We have speed bumps in Florida. They're like mountains.
Well, my driveway, it went from 14 feet. It's only about 7 feet high in snow right now. So
isn't that crazy?
we're coming out of it.
Karina's just ahead. Oh, there you are. So you still have snow on the ground up there, huh?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. In fact, it's bizarre. But anyway, we'll get right into it. So basically, if you have a real estate practice and you ever want to get money out of it down the road, there's only one thing that you have to sell, and that is your database. All right. So if you keep that in mind, keep the end in mind to do the start. And what do I mean by that? So everything goes in a database. Everything that you do, every call you make, every email you send, every text you send goes through your database. And if you have buyer's agents or teams or different people, and you get everybody on now, so that's really the key. The other thing is there is automation that you can use. And I can tell you, first of all, I'm going to say automated drip plans are very dangerous. And the reason why I say that is they're very worthwhile if they're accurate and appropriate. The problem is that most people don't spend the time. So I have a term that I use. It's called one-timing, right? Do something one time really well, and then copy it and do it over and over and over. So what we do, and by the way, we use Boomtown. We've had that for many, many, many years. We have, last month, we just went over 20,000 people in our Boomtown account. And it's because every single person that we talk to virtually gets put into the database. So the key to this, though, really is to use it. I always say, and everybody don't just go and buy, Boomtown and pay $1,800, $1,900 a month. The best CRM that you have or to use is the one that you have or the one that you're using. And I usually recommend not to change. Now, one of the big advantages at EXP is you get KV Core, and KV Core, and there is no perfect CRM, but KV Core is very good in a lot of ways, and it's free. Well, it comes with, it comes with EXP. So in a nutshell, I would just say everything goes in it, use it, and then if anybody has, some great drip plans, one of the things that we could all do maybe is figure out a way to kind of share them, and I could get Drew or Mike or somebody on my team to help that. But anyway, that was essentially what I have, unless somebody has any questions.
It's so true. I've only heard that line about 864.3 million times. What's the best CRM? The one you'll actually use, right? Pete, what are you using for your CRM? So we're talking about, how do you organize your CRM to help be more efficient and more successful with your database? No volume there, Pete. Oh, there you go.
Am I there?
Yep, now you're here. Yep.
I use Follow Up Boss. I think that's one of the better ones, but I'm kind of dealing with different things, and it's the same thing. I'm trying to get all my team members to buy in to use it. The CRM is only as good as how you use it and how you follow up with people. I think this day and age, it's all about staying in front of people and getting belly to belly and communicating really well with them, but you need to have a system that guides you with that. And that's what the CRM is, right? It's contact management. It helps you manage your contacts. And a lot of agents are apprehensive to use it. So right now we kind of use KV Core and Follow Up Boss because KV Core didn't speak to my website before. But we're completely moving over where we will be using Follow Up Boss with the new website. And we have a bunch of other things that we're implementing too with our drip campaigns and so forth. We're going to be using Chat GPT with that. And Dre can probably jump in. I think she's on here, that she can kind of explain how we're going to use Chat GPT with our drip campaigns as far as our CRM is concerned. Dre, you want to jump in?
Yep, I'm here, just starting my video. So yeah, we actually had a whole training yesterday for our team in office regarding ChatGPT and how efficient it is when you don't really know what to write in the email. You can just kind of give a brief description of the message that you want to get across, and then you can set that up in your follow-up boss as drip campaigns for all the leads that are coming in and for your past clients. So it's a really, really powerful tool that can definitely help a lot of new agents and experienced agents kind of organize their CRM and help with lead follow-up.
That what we got? Okay.
I mean, I think maybe that could be a topic for one of the coming weeks, because you can really go deep dive into it. I don't want to take up everybody's time because I want everybody to be able to share what they're doing in their CRMs, but maybe we can go in and train everybody on how to use ChatGPT in one of the upcoming.
Yeah, it's one thing I haven't really looked at yet is chat. I'm honestly, I'll be honest with you, I'm so terrified of artificial intelligence, but that's a whole nother class, right? I'm old school. I still remember Terminator.
Listen, Mitch, stay in the shallow end. Do not go towards the deep end right now with ChatGPT. If nobody understands what ChatGPT is, watch the South Park episode with ChatGPT. It's really funny. But I just think all of those things are really, really cool. And there's a lot of things happening. Let's see, we got Steve on here. Steve wants to share something. Steve Hunley, can you make him panelist real quick? Steve is super awesome when it comes to technology and so forth. He said he wants to share something when it comes down to CRMs and how to really tap into your database. There you go. Look at that handsome guy on the beach. He looks like he should be on a game show. There it is. Look at the tech stack. He's got all types of things.
There we go. Now you can hear me. Can you hear me?
You're in the dark. You look like a silhouette.
Oh, that's because I am. I'm an incognito, right?
Yeah, they keep
secret agent. I'm the secret agent working on the secret seller map right now. But I've got the tech stack right behind you here that we're building for you, Pete. Actually, little do you know that it has your name all over it. All right.
I love it.
I heard you talking about ChatGPT, and I just couldn't help myself but to think about how you and a genie are connected here. So I just wanted to show this to you because I know Andrea just did training yesterday. I guess I just learned that now, but this is your Genie account, and I've just wanted to introduce you to something that hasn't really been announced. But Paisley is a bot that's built into the Genie that was started in 2019. And the development team at One Park Place has been working with the ChatGPT people, and they actually created this that T360 is actually about to review in a very positive way, but this hasn't been announced yet. So this is something that's happening. So this is like a listing situation. So here's your listings. we could pick one here. Which one you want?
Well, you're gonna have to share your screen so we can see it.
Ah, well then, you know what? Are you in suspense?
Yes, I am.
Did I give you a suspense? How do you do that? Share screen. Okay, got it.
There you go.
All right, guys. And ladies, Andrea, sorry about that. And I didn't mean to say that. So anyway, here's the genie. This is your account, Pete.
Yep.
This is something that just is kind of coming out. It's been kind of a secret project, but this is Paisley. So there's a couple of versions, and so Paisley is a level up. So what Paisley has been done is Paisley has been trained on something like 100 and something million properties, several million neighborhoods and areas. So our team's been working with the ChatGPT people to be able to teach ChatGPT the Paisley version. Paisley is ChatGPT except for real estate. And so we can go listing focused here, and then we can grab one of your listings, Pete, and this could be set up to, the brokerage or whatever. But any one of these that we want to do some marketing on?
A lot of those are sold.
These are sold. Where are your
They're all
actives?
sold.
Yeah, hey, all your actives. So these are because you put them in Andrea's name now. So you changed, you moved. So we gotta get it set up. But let's just grab one of these. Okay, how about Cass Street?
Go down to Deer Trail.
Okay,
Do that one.
Deer Trail. Okay, so here's Deer Trail. Let's select an area. Is it Forest Ranch or where is
Yeah,
that?
it's Forest Ranch.
Okay, so now it just so basically we just told Paisley to help us out for listing in Deer Run with Forest Ranch as the area, and it's learning that the information right now, and in just a moment it's going to help us with content that's actually more specific than any other solution that you've seen, I'm sure.
Awesome. See, this is probably scaring the hell out of Mitch right now.
Well, see, this is why I loved about this for Mitch is Mitch is like me. I mean, I didn't have to type anything. I just pushed a button. I picked 2 drop downs and it does the work. So as long as I don't have to think about what to tell it, then it works. So this is kind of the model, and it's all based on logic in our industry. So here's some actions. So we can do that. We can do a listing package or a blog post or an email or all these things that are already kind of preset, so that you don't have to actually do all the complicated stuff of trying to tell it what to be and who to be and all that stuff. So so I can open up a listing kit. Now this is not 100%
Done yet? Or refined or what?
ready to go yet. A dynamic landing page gets created instantly with property brochure and call to action with some area insider stats, stuff that you can't get. This is from the patented Genie system, where it's actually pulling together total number of homes and all the stats. And you can see we need to get the part of the issue with you is that you're going through a brand change. So we want to actually tailor this to your operation once you settle down on exactly what that's going to be.
Yeah.
Unless it's done now. I haven't been.
No, it's all done now. We just got it approved actually this week. So.
Oh, good. Cool. All right. So so the listing kit. Yeah, this is something that, in fact, what I'm doing right now is actually, we have this set up for teams right now where we can create one for each agent on any of your listings.
Okay.
So basically this is like a kit that would have all the content that, you would decide on. The thought process is that you as a team lead, you're the rainmaker. You would then take from an inventory of assets and say, okay, I want my agents to have this kit. It's approved. This has our brand. Boom, it's tied, and then they can't change it. So when they get stuff out, it's just instantly made, so that it just comes in here in a button. And if we need a listing package, we'll just get one of those, and it'll have here's some the unique selling features, breathtaking views, cul-de-sac location, move-in ready. So then it's going to talk about the neighborhood. And this because it's been trained on this neighborhood, you didn't have to write anything. So Mitch, what do you think of this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Insane. I couldn't type that in an hour I type with 2 fingers. So it would take me literally an hour to type all this out.
You know, what's funny is I would normally type by pushing the button on the recording, and then I'd read it and it said it didn't get me right. So it'll take me 2 hours. They'll fix all the typos that, you know, I
Right.
made.
Exactly.
but
No, this is super cool, Steve. Super cool.
Yeah, we need to do a, today's not the day to do a full class on this. We need to do a class on this at some point. Steve, have you ought to do a whole class on it.
The challenge, Mitch, is that I love doing that. We need help. As soon as this gets blessed, I mean, we want to take this right now. It's set up for California, I think Texas, Florida, your backyard there, Mitch. You know, but if this is something that you think makes sense, we need to get this thing, you know, nationwide.
Okay, we can. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
At a different.
But you're seeing
time.
something before the world does. I mean, this is actually right now in review by
Freaking awesome, man. It's really cool.
There it is.
Look,
All
you
right.
even spelled my name right too. How about that?
Hey, oh, by the way, it also is trained on your bio and your company bio as it makes this stuff. So it basically goes and grabs that information from the Genie's, you know, resource center here under your, you know, under your account. Let's see,
Okay.
account settings, I believe. And
Dre's got to update all that stuff, so we have it all
yeah,
up.
that's what I was gonna say. So Dre, if we can get that that update on the on Pete's bio. So here's about, I grew up in a real estate family based in Brockton. So basically this is only like 2 sentences, you know. Oh no, it's more. Okay.
No, it goes
So-
down. No.
But yeah, I mean, so so it learns that, and then it learns about the company. So that way it incorporates this content into the messaging so that you don't have to keep telling it what to do. And so
we'll definitely designate a Zoom to have you present this so people understand what the deal is, and then we'll try to get everything incorporated into it with EXP Luxury and so forth on my behalf. You know.
All right, you got it. Yeah,
we'll get
so,
that all set. That's awesome stuff, Steve. Thanks
Cool
for
stuff, Steve.
contributing.
Yeah.
But listen, you guys, you can use your CRM. You know,
Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to do
showing
this, I
you
was
is
gonna
just the
say,
whole CRM aspect of it.
this is being designed to fit into follow-up, boss, number one. And number two, if anybody wants to try this out, I mean, it's not for sale yet. We're going to, you know, obviously with our close group here, Pete, we'll go ahead and, you know, if people want to bang on it, you know, we'll have some accounts that people can use for free.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, there's open house piece there too. You remember that? I don't know, but
I love the open house piece. The open house piece is one of my favorite things.
So this is like a kit that was made, one of Ed's listings, and then this is an agent that, you know, his or her kit that she can go to work with and has all her parts to it, has her sign writers.
Yeah,
her
we'll
flyers.
do what we'll do, Steve, is because I don't want to hijack the meeting because
Right.
we're on CRMs.
I know,
What we'll do
sorry
is
about that.
we'll even do a Zoom where we break down different parts, where we do like the open house kit as one Zoom, the Genie as one Zoom, you know, and Chat GPT as another Zoom. I think that's how we should do it. All right.
And then Pete, anybody that you want on board, you have this right now. You have a little refer a friend link right here. So this will be whoever you get. So there's you know, an affiliate program associated with this coming together. And then
Okay.
Mitch, I know that you're big on that. So anyway, that's my story. See you guys.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks for contributing. I like that. I love it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, so let's kind of get back to this. You know, I think the main point that a lot of people are making, and look, Steve's a tech genius. If you can't tell, he goes a million miles an hour, and he understands all this because he's been working in tech for 30 years. So he understands tech. But above and beyond that, what I love about Steve is he really understands that you got to get in front of people, and that's what CRMs are all about. Is staying in contact with people. I mean, realtors call one time, or they email one time, or they text one time. If the person doesn't get back to them immediately, they either get offended or they say, listen, you know, this isn't working or whatever. That's not the case. You have to be consistent with your message, and you have to be consistent with your schedule and what you're doing and who you're contacting. That's super, super important. So if you have a team, make sure everybody on the team is using and buying into the same CRM. Otherwise, it's not going to work, you know?
Yep.
All right, let's go over to Corinna. Corinna, what are you using for your CRM?
So I have merged all of my existing database over to KV Core at this point. But my previous life from coming into real estate, I actually sold CRMs to the Fortune 250 for many years. And the one thing that I learned from that experience is that a lot of people, even salespeople, don't really understand the value of the CRM. So it becomes a second or third or fifth thought of their day. When you use your CRM, and it could be a database, it could be a KV Core, it could be a spreadsheet. You have to really touch it every day. And not only you, if you have an assistant or a team or whoever's touching your customers, every person that touches your customers, if you're not recording what is going on, you're losing so much data. And so coming into real estate, I discovered that a lot of realtors are just all over the map, right? Their cell phones are usually their biggest database. Their email platform, they might have some letters sending out. So the first thing I think is, before we even get into how to, what we're using, is what is the best practices for setting up your database and why, right? So why am I putting all this time in when I should be out there running with people? You are literally running with people when you're setting your database up correctly. So you want to make sure that you get their names, their address, their phone number, their email, but the more information you can get out of them, the better. So if you can get their wife, their kids, their dog, whatever, you have other purposes to call them when you call them. And when you start calling them on a regular basis, or doing mailings or emails or whatever campaign you're going to set up within your database, the more the merrier, by the way, because the more touches you have, the more you'll be remembered. But without having that information, then you're just flying by the seat of your pants. You're not really being a true salesperson, right? And we're all professionals in real estate. So to be a professional realtor, you have to have your database organized. Now, the bigger thing that I've noticed in real estate that causes a lot of confusion amongst realtors is that we have a lot of places people go into and drop their information, right? You have someone going through your website, and then you might have the KW or your whoever website that you're using from your company. And then you have mailers that are going out through, Home Actions or someone sending out a monthly newsletter or biweekly newsletter. And so now you have another set of places. So the one thing I have to tell you is, if you're not using, if you have your information scattered like most people do, because it's so easy to do, and then it's very time consuming to pull it back in. I mean, even your phone, if you're using Genie, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the message. If you're using Google Docs and you're using KV Core, for example, there's a company called API Nation. They will sync your contacts to a Google Drive and then sync it over to KV Core. So now you can start honing in on your contacts. When you have your contacts spread apart, you're not really doing yourself any favors, because now you can't market to them, but also, where do you go when you're ready to sit down and start picking up the phone or the email, right? So that's really important. And really, really important is a high touch from you and on down to your people, because the more you're touching the CRM means you're actually doing your job and actually calling or emailing or texting your clients, right? So it's not just busy work, because if we're doing busy work, we're not making any money. You're doing the busy work so you can make money. Now you have ability to forecast your business. You know who's got what coming up. They're telling you, they're more apt to text you, hey, my aunt's moving into Florida. We want you to take care of her, whatever the situation is. And that takes me to my next point, which is you need it all centrally stored in one place. So there's, between Zapier and API Nation, I've been able to take all my data from 10 years in real estate and put it all into one nice package into KV4. Did I have to do a little work with it? Absolutely. There was duplicates because they were duplicated in so many places, but that's part of the process. And then while you're going through it, it'll remind you, hey, we just discovered that they can get an extra discount on their homestead. Pick the phone up. Now you have a reason to call them. And so from that aspect, that's the most important part of the CRM. I will tell you, I've always been a high CRM input of data. And I usually tell people, well, the deals just fall in my lap. They fall in my lap because I'm touching the people and I'm leveraging the CRM that I'm using all the time. So I think you have to have best practices first before we can even start drilling down. If they're already using a CRM, then we can go from there. But if they're kind of like they have it, but they're not using it, it's a very hard discussion to go forward at that point.
You muted, Pete.
I couldn't agree more. If anybody takes away anything from this, listen to what she said, because this is it. This is what you have to do in order to be successful with your database. And the thing is, there's no great place to start. Where you start is today, and you just start doing it. You don't try to go back. You just say, every call I'm going to log, every email I'm going to do it through the system, and every text I'm going to do it through the system. And you can't even imagine how much it helps you keep track of everything. And what you said, when you put in personal things into the notes, it's like, you know, Joey had a soccer game yesterday, and then you call up in a week, hey, how was it, Joey's soccer game? Man, those things go so far. So thanks for sharing that, Karina.
And David, one more thing on that note, like what you're saying is to go in the beginning, anything is difficult, right? I mean, think about your first, you know, smartphone that you got when you went from a flip phone, or if I'm dating myself, I'm sorry.
Oh, my
But
flip phone.
we all have a learning curve, right? The Walmart cashier didn't really master her job the first day she went to work. So you're going to have to take it, I say, in the first, like, if you put yourself on a 90-day fast track plan, which is what I usually preach to people in CRMs, start with 30 minutes for the first week. What you're going to find is you're not going to want to get out of it after 30 minutes. And that timer is going to ding, and I'm going to make you tell you get out and go hit the streets again, do your normal thing. And every day you go back in and you just do 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 6 days a week times 90 days, you have it mastered, and you're making more sales, and you can't even believe how your sales have quadrupled in 90 days. But you have to talk to the people. If you're just doing the work and you're not talking to the people, you're still not working. So you have to still talk to the people as you're doing the data.
It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
That's right.
All right, next.
Love that. I think that's great stuff. So let me ask you this question. If somebody, you know, majority of agents, I think they have all their contacts in their phone. I know you can transfer a CSV file from your phone, but a lot of agents work out of their smartphone.
Sure. Yep.
Which makes it kind of a dumb phone because they have no other rhyme or reason. They're just going through their contacts and contacting people. What would you do to suggest to people to get it from their phone into a CRM?
So, like I said, API Nation will work with Google and Apple to get and extrapolate all your contacts out of your phone. They stay in your phone, by the way, so they're not going to manipulate your data. So nobody has to worry about that. They're literally just mirroring, imaging, and pulling the data out to another source that will then sync to KV Core. They sync to a whole bunch of CRMs. And if that one doesn't work, there's another company called Zapier. I'm not sure if they'll get the contacts out. One of the things that I do, because I am heavy texting, right, with my clients all the time, is I don't want to lose that data. So I've found a way I'm a Samsung girl. If I was an Apple girl, my old engineers would hang me by my toes. So I've always been an Android person. And for that reason, I found a way on my cell phone that years ago, I was doing this with .loop because I needed to be able to access my contracts, right, on .loop on my cell phone to keep things moving, but their app really sucked. So I found a way that you can go and grab the website and put it into another browser on your phone, and you can then share it to basically your desktop on your cell phone. So I have a folder called real estate, and I do that for a lot of things, including KV Core. And so I can go in to my CRM, and instead of going to my contacts, I go into KV Core on my phone, and I can do the same thing as if I was in front of my computer and I'm really sitting outside of Publix on their Wi-Fi trying to do a couple, messages out to clients before I go to a listing appointment.
No, that's awesome. I love that. That's really, really great.
It's all about, like, I think, David, you said, one touch. I don't want to have to touch things 3 times to organize them. It's just too much work and not enough time in our day to have to touch it, touch. So this is another way of touching it once and getting maximum results.
I think that's super, super cool because it's all about efficiency. It's about consistency and efficiency and getting in front of people. And, my father taught me early on in real estate. He said, I want you to remember one thing. And I said, what's that? He said, people will never forget about you.
Mm-hmm.
They just think that you forgot about them.
That's
so
right.
Why should they use you? Why should they reward you? So you have to stay in front of them. And I think a lot of agents forget that. Agents get upset and they say, oh, well, the guy I sold the house to 4 years ago, I saw that he brought it on the market. Why didn't he call me? Well, why is he supposed to? How much of a relationship have you had with him? Have you been dropping off something of value, once or twice a year? Have you been inviting him to events? Have you been in his life? Have you created that relationship? And, it's so important in this business to have a relationship. I think majority of most great agents' business comes from past clients and sphere of influence. And
That's
if
right.
anybody's on the call right now, we keep hearing somebody in the background. If you can just mute, that would be great. Whoever is not speaking, if you can just mute on your phone, thank you. But I think that's the key thing that a lot of people forget is it's a relationship business. And we work hard to create those relationships to find people great homes and provide great service. Then all of a sudden it goes by the wayside and you're never in touch with them again. And I'm guilty of it. I'll be the first one to admit it. And my database over the years has been lost a bunch of different times. And it's just life, but it doesn't mean you can't start today. Start today, move forward, and start just working on it as you recommended, 30 minutes a day. You guys, this is your lifeline. This is what's going to help your business sustain through good times and bad. I mean, 99% of my business is referrals. I don't rely on new business or anything like that. Do I love doing open houses? Yeah, I like getting belly to belly with people. I look at it as a game. It's definitely a game. So thank you for those wise words and that contribution for everybody who's on here. I want to go over to my brother from another mother, my Philly guy, Craig Lurch. Look at him. He looks like he's down on the Philly seaboard or something, or he's going to the Jersey Shore or something. Look at him. He's all set to go. He's got a great tan going. So Lurchy, what are you using for a database management? And what does your team use? And what do you do to stay in front of your clients?
I am going to be straight up that 10 years ago, I had 24 years of business or whatever it was Agent 2000 or online agent. And the thing crashed because I'm going to say my business partner at that time chose not to buy a backup system that I didn't know about it that saved everything. So you want to talk about crying? You want to talk about pain? Guess what? It's painful. So one of the best parts about that is you got a clean slate. You can start. I'm going to be another total honest because I always am. Right now, we're between two. We've got KV Core and we're using Agent Hub 360, which is Zoho. We're running them both, seeing which ones have the best, where it's at. I can tell you that the one charges me for having X amount of people in it because it has an ISA in it, and then the other one is the KV Core. That KV Core is phenomenal. We were on the call last week with Shane, and let me tell you, my VAs who are on the call today that are in this are taking his boot camp. That thing is a Ferrari. So if you have KV Core in your EXP for $85, run it, go with it. There was also the stuff that you were talking about, Pete, the websites, the luxury that don't link to it. So that's why we're looking at other things just to make sure we're at. But the bottom line comes down to it is, if you're going to do it, keep it clean. We're actually dumping everything out and we're starting to break them into categories and loading them back in slowly and doing it the right way. We're going back. Okay, who were all our buyers and sellers last year? Boom, 2022, 2021, 2020. You can get that information. You have it. You can go back to the MLS. We're pulling every MLS sheet, everything that we had on them from the past, and we're loading it into attachments because that shows value of what we had and things of that nature. It's letting us go to the anniversaries, the thanks IO, and sending the cards out automatically that we were talking about that Matt Battiata does, and just put it in a system that is being done. So you're not forgetting and your brain isn't thinking about it. You're not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning like the ROGD old guy saying, hey, who was I supposed to call today and I didn't do it? Put it in there and do it. This thing is worth millions of dollars. Use it like it's $1 million tool. Don't just do social media. Use it like $1 million tool. And it's not hard. It's not hard. It's just a matter of doing it. Like Karina said, focus 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. And that 30 minutes, all of a sudden you'll double your productivity in doing it. The point is what everybody
says.
So
let me ask you this. Yeah, let me ask you this. Where's the best training for KV Core?
best training is, first of all, if you're in KV Core, there are all the classes that are in there. The second one is Shane's KV Core boot camp. I think it's $347. He had a special on it the other day. It was $347, and it's phenomenal of what he can do with it. And I would go to those two things. I would look at those classes, and I would go to Shane's class because it's affordable and you can take it, and it takes you through the classes you want, and goes from there. So those are the number one, number two I would do.
And the other ones on there is Sylvia Dana is amazing.
Oh, Sylvia Dana, you have somebody
training,
too, Mitch.
she's great. We just did that with our VA because we're going to start offering that to all of our agents. KV Core training every week for our agents in our organization. And then if you are with EXP, go on Workplace to the KV Core group. There's just a million people.
You can generate your own leads, get away from buying leads or giving up 35 to 50% of your professional fees. I don't ever use the word commissions. I hate the word commissions. I think it's a cold word. I think we're professionals and act like a professional and get a professional fee. But if you're giving up 35 to 50%, a tough go. And if you just take the time and the energy to tap into your sphere of influence and your past clients and the people that you're already connected to, you already have a relationship with these people, you guys, and they're dying to hear from you. Write them a catch up, and don't talk about real estate. Talk about them. You are not interesting until you are interested. Remember that. You're not interesting till you're interested. Be interested in their life. Don't just come out and throw up real estate. Hey, let me tell you about the market and this and that, and your head spins around like The Exorcist, and you're throwing up everywhere, all over people. Life going? How are you doing? How's your family? Right? You can do the Ford concept: family, occupation, realizations, dreams, whatever you have to do. That's the big thing. That's awesome. I like that.
Hey, Pete, same organization, and Mitch is doing a great job helping us. I did not know that we were putting that in. My one VA, I actually just hired my guys that are like, so we can't get to them. It's going to be an hour a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, different hours that he's going to be live in our Zoom, and they can click in and click out as they want to go in and ask questions for set times every day of how to work their KV Core better. And that's a commitment that I'm making to everybody around me, that I've helped bring in the EXP so they can learn it and drive it like a Ferrari. We're given 5 hours of that help automatically signing in.
So let me talk a little about CRMs for a second before we take questions, because I have a lot to talk about.
Well, Mitch, you got 19. We have 19 minutes left, and Mitch could easily take up the 19 minutes. You guys, he's like the CRM expert. Go ahead.
So, firstly, you guys who are with me will be getting an email tomorrow. I'm going to do a lead conversion class on May 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be sharing it with BuyerLink, which is where I bought all my traffic for 15 or 16 years, on how to convert leads properly. But today I want to talk about databases, because first of all, yes, the best database is the one that you use, the best CRM, whatever you want to call it. However, if you do not organize your database correctly, you don't need to have a database. So, and when I look at people's databases, I've been analyzing databases for 20 years now for people. I'm known as the godfather of internet lead conversion, which still cracks me up. But the reason why we were so good at lead conversion was because we had a phenomenal back end. I built my original one myself. I spent $500,000 building my own because there was nothing out there. And then I ended up going with a real estate webmasters one and spent almost $500,000 on that one to build it the way I needed it to be. Now I just sold that about a year and a half ago because I'm out of the lead conversion business. I'm just over it after 20 years. But with that said, I'm going to give you a few basics that are really, really important with your thing. And I'm actually going to share with you guys, as soon as I finish talking, I will give you my drip campaigns that we've used for years that have sold couple of thousand homes. We average about 350 homes a year from the internet for about 15 years doing that. So firstly, you have to group your leads. So where did my lead come from? Did it come from open houses? Did it come from a referral? Did it come from pay-per-click? Did it come from Zillow, Realtor.com? Did it come from Facebook? Where did it lead?
Yeah, did it come
Secondly,
from walk-in at the office? Did it come from hair club for men? Where did it come from, Mitch? Tell us.
Most of mine are from Hair Club for Men. We tried. The other thing that's really important is understanding the hierarchy of a lead. So I want to talk about that real quick, and then I'll get into the groupings. So there's a hierarchy of leads. And by the way, there's people who are better at it than others, but this is the general national numbers on these things. The worst leads you can get are Facebook leads. They generally convert at 1 out of 300. Now, are some people doing it better? Yeah. Are they generally lying? Yes. The second one is pay-per-click. That's Google. Now, why is that better than Facebook? Facebook, why you can get for $2 or $1 a lead, right? But people are just scrolling and looking for shiny objects. They're not looking for a house. When you go into Google, they're searching for La Jolla real estate, Melbourne real estate, Park City real estate. They're searching for you, right? So that's about a better one, okay? So those convert at about a 1%. Now, if you're good, like we were, we converted at a 6% rate, which is about the actual was 0.75%. The next leads that are good for you are Zillow and Realtor.com. They convert nationally at a 3% level. If you're really good at it, we did 10 to 15%. All right. So again, it depends on your good and the CRM. And what I'm going to tell you about grouping right now is a real big piece of why we're able to do that. Next is open house leads. I don't have national stats on that because there are none. I can tell you that when I was doing open houses based on what I did, I never had less than 24 transactions a year out of my 80 homes a year I sold from open houses. And then finally, referrals. Referrals are the best. I mean, if you're not converting 80% of your referrals, then you're in the wrong business. So that's your hierarchy of leads. And it's important to know that because it helps you determine what you want to chase. And that's why it's just starting your CRM, where you get your lead from is the most important part. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to categorize our lead by price point. So for instance, we had at one point 85,000 leads in our database, right? We knew out of those 85,000, about 60% had good phone numbers. So a lot, right? I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it's a lot, right? So we categorize low end, average, medium price range, and high end. The biggest thing we wanted to make sure we never lost high end properties, right? And we didn't work low end properties. We didn't call low end leads. Now, what we did use those low end leads for is to train new agents. So we had a new agent come in, they get all our low end leads. We had thousands and thousands of them. Here you go, have at it, go have fun. And then we write contracts, but more importantly, they get more involved in organizing and running their database. The next thing we do is look for active leads. So active leads with phone numbers and active leads without phone numbers. So active leads, phone numbers I can call. Active leads without phone numbers I can't call. And by without phone numbers mean bad phone number or no phone number at all. Again, the number is 60% give you good phone numbers. And I'll touch on something real quick because I could really, like Pete said, I could talk about this for the next 6 hours. Is I want you to think about this. If you are using a website, let me ask you a question. I'll use my panel. I want everybody to raise your hand. Have you ever registered on a website? Raise your hand. Dave, you've never registered on a website? Not one? Yeah, I bet. If you did not want them to call you, raise your hand. Did you put down a good phone number? If you did not want them to call you, did you give them a phone number? No, right? Of course not. If you wanted them to call you, did you give them a phone number? Yes. What did you think of that company or that person if they did not return your call? They did not call you. They suck, right? That's my point. I hope you're understanding that. If you are not calling your leads, 60% of your leads you're getting have a good phone number. If you're capturing phone numbers, if you're not calling those 60%, they do not only do they not like you, they don't like your team if you're on a team, and they hate your brokerage. right? You've screwed up
And
everybody in
don't
that
chase
company.
Yeah, don't chase people that don't give you a phone number. Why
No.
would you even do that?
No, and we'll go through, I'm gonna give in that webinar on the 10th. I'm gonna go ahead and step by step on what to do if they don't have a phone number. There's not enough time today to do that in 10 minutes. The next thing we do, so this is the basics, and this is basics, but I'm not gonna get into a whole lot of stuff that I could talk about again for an hour and a half, 2 hours, is we have what we call calendared. Calendared means they either set an appointment by a date, or they gave us the month, or even maybe the quarter they're coming to the area to look at houses. Remember, we're in a vacation area, right? Ribak County, Florida, Melbourne, Cocoa Beach. So we have people that are coming down from New York. They're not going to be here till what month? May. Not going to be here till August. So we'd put them in the August group, and we knew in July we need to be calling those people coming in the August group, right? And then the final thing is we always made sure we set up the next call with them when we were on the phone call. So we have a calling time frame based on their buying time frame. So this is really basic, but this is really, all those things are really, really important. If you're not doing those things, you don't have an organized database. If you don't have an organized database, you're not being successful. Now I'm going to give you, I'm going to post in the chat the drip campaigns that we've used. We also use for our active agents, active people. And by the way, one of the biggest ones in here that I didn't say is shown property. It's amazing. So we had a shown property category in our database that the agents would put them in. I never looked at it because I didn't think agents were that lazy not to use that. We had over 6,000 leads that people had shown property to that never called them again. 6,000 leads that our agents had shown property that never called them again. And I'll give you one more thing because there's just so much. Oh, no, I'll get to it later on. This is just too much stuff to talk about. So I'm going to post my drip campaign in there. But one of the things we do with our shown property people and people that are really that are active is we're constantly in touch with them at least twice a month, generally 3 or 4 times a month. And again, I'll go over that on the 10th, and we'll do a lead conversion thing on here if you don't want to be on the one on the 10th. But it's really important. If your database isn't organized, you're missing your business. You don't need to generate leads. Honestly, you don't need to go to Zillow. You don't need to go to Realtor.com. You don't need to do pay-per-click. You can. It's all right here. In fact, yeah, do this exercise. Who has it besides Korean? Who else has an iPhone? Everybody else have iPhones? Because I don't know if you can do this. Go on your contact list. I want everybody on the call. We have 80 people on the call. Do this. Go on your contact list right now. And I don't know, Karina, you might have this too. I just don't know. I've never looked at it on Android. Go on your contact list and then scroll all the way to the bottom. And on iPhone, it's going to tell you how many contacts you have. I have 1,949 contacts at the bottom of my list. How many more leads do I need? I have 1,949 people that actually like me. They wouldn't be on my phone, right? That will help me sell homes. So all of you just did that. And I did that with a girl yesterday, and she's like complaining because she has no business. She had almost 4,000 contacts. And she's never thought of using those contacts to generate business. Crazy. So anyways, all right, I'm going to put that in the CRM. Anybody have any questions about anything? Yeah, see, everybody's got tons of people in there, right? Anybody have a question? I'm going to put this in here now. I got to find it and put it in there. My computer. Find it here. Nobody has questions. Well, look at Craig. They have 4,500 leads. Craig, why would you ever buy a lead? All right. I just I gotta. All right, so let me do. Hold on a second. I gotta close the link for. Let me do. You should see the. You should see the link for the drip campaigns in there if you want that. All right, Pete, anything else you want to talk about?
There's a lot I want to talk about because there's a lot happening. You know, the one thing I want to talk about, you guys, and how you can utilize your CRMs and really put it into action is, you know, start with the A's and just reach out to 5 people every morning, you know, when your productivity is at the highest between 8 and 9 a.m. If you don't get them, leave them a message and say, hey, I was thinking about you today. I would love to catch up. That's all you got to say. don't put them on edge. Don't say, hey, I have an opportunity that I think you should buy, or do you want to sell, or do you want me to light your house on fire, right? Pete doesn't know arson, so we're not going to do that. But, you know, just reach out to 5 a day. If you do that every day, I guarantee you within 6 months, you're going to be through your whole thing. And then you can go back through again, because you want to stay in touch with these people and stay in front of them. If you are looking out for them, they will look out for you.
Yeah.
100%.
One thing to add to that, Pete, because so when I first started in real estate and I was doing my lead generation, I didn't have a database. I had AOL address book. I'm a rock star tech guy. And then I started using ACT after that. So what I would do, I set everybody up on listing updates. So every single lead I ever got, no matter where I got it from, got listing updates for me, which back then I was the only person doing that. And I would start at because alphabeticalized, you just brought back a good memory from 2001. So I'd start hi, Alan, just checking in to make sure you're getting my listing updates. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. I would go A, Alan, Arthur, B, Billy, Bob. I never got past the letter I before I sold another dozen homes. Never.
Wow.
Because the problem is if you don't have the right, again, you can have the right database, you can have the right groups. If you don't have the messaging, you're still wrong. It's a package. It's everything. It's not just one piece of the puzzle. You have to do the whole puzzle.
Yeah, and you know, Corinna D had a good comment. She said, instead of just leaving a message, do a quick video and text it to them, right? Because they'll open it. Video, you know, text messages are opened, I think 97% faster than any other message, you guys. So, you know, you can leave it on their voicemail on their phone, but they're going to probably breeze through it. If you have a message and just say, watch me, and send it as a little thumbnail, they're going to watch it, but just keep it quick.
Yeah.
Personalize it.
If you use BombBomb, you can actually pre-record these ahead of time and then send them through text, which is great. And then you can make them custom to that person, but maybe not 100% custom. So you can go reach out to 10 clients a day. I do that every day, 6 days a week. When you do 10 videos a day, simple, like, hey, how's it going? We haven't hooked up in a while. I just really wanted to catch up and see how you and the family are doing, period. That's it. And I'm smiling. There's usually one person that doesn't reply back right away, but they eventually do. And I know that they're opening them up because it's hard not to, because curiosity always kills the cat when there's a video.
Yeah, it's such a good point. And, you know, I think we gave this tip before. There's another app that you can use that you can send messages like that and text messages. I'm trying to find it on my phone. I know I have it here, but of course, nothing is organized on my phone. And I'm trying to find the app. Oh, it's called Hit 'em Up. I just found it. Hit 'em Up. Get that app and check that out. And you can set up groups and past clients and sphere of influence and current clients. You know, here's my question to everybody on this call. Why are we searching for people who aren't searching for us? Why don't we just go to the people who've already met us and like us and appreciated our help, or even if they don't like you anymore, still reach out to them. You never know. Something might have changed. Maybe they got hit in the head from like a pelican flew into their head and they changed their disposition. You never know. But you never know what somebody else's struggle is. And like I always say to everybody on my team, all storms don't last forever. So just be helpful and be caring and love on people. And if you do that, you're not going to have to worry about business. The problem is in society nowadays, nobody wants to contact anyone. It's unbelievable.
The phone.
Yeah, pick up the phone. Don't even just pick up the phone. Say, I'm going to be in your area. I'd love to stop by and see you for 10 minutes. And just make it 10 minutes. Try not to sit down and eat coffee cake and have coffee. I mean, it'll turn into 3 hours. Just stand up. If you don't sit down, you're not going to get stuck there. Just stand up. That's the big thing. But you got to get belly to belly with people. They want to see you. People react differently to text messages and all this other stuff. That's
I have 3 books, as you know. Well, two big books, and then I wrote one book because everybody told me to write a book. And I'm going to give you guys all that book for free right now. It takes me literally less than 30 seconds to give you the book. It's called The Rockstar Sales Guide. Don't do chicken shit marketing. And the first page says, don't text. The second page says, don't email. The third page says, pick up the effing
All
phone.
the people.
And I will tell you that my other books sold about 5,000 copies each. I've sold over 10,000 copies of this book on Amazon for $1. I did it as a joke. So it comes down to people want to talk to you. Now, yeah, there's some people that would prefer to text you. Yeah, of course there is. But the reality is, if you want to make sales, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
It will.
Not only
This,
that,
this will make you money. This will make you millions of dollars.
I mean, for all the people out there who are trying to get going in the business, you guys, you have a clean slate. Just use the technology you have and put everything in your CRM, and then keep contacting people and keep saying, hey, you know, I was thinking about you today, Corinna. You know, I was wondering, can you help me?
I would love to help you, Pete. What do you need?
Look, who do you know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in the next 90 days? Who do you know in your kind of stratosphere that would need some true, honest help?
You know what? My neighbor and I were just outside talking about that yesterday, and they have to move. So are you taking customers right now?
I am actually, and that's why I'm reaching out to the people I love the most to see who I can help love on and help them get to where they want to go. Would you like me to reach out to them, or can you provide me their number, or how would you like me to approach it?
I'll tell you what, Pete, you did such a great job for my family and I when we moved in to our house. I'll just do a group text after our call, and I'll set you two up together.
That would be awesome. Could you do me one more favor?
Sure.
If you get a chance, just walk next door and kind of share your experience with them.
Oh, she already knows I love you.
Oh,
She
perfect.
knows that you're the realtor to go to.
Good. All right. I'm going to change my tagline. The realtor that everybody loves and loves not to. That's it. All right. The big thing is, I think that's the key, is you have to stay in front of them. Go ahead, Dave the Wave. Look there he is, the luxury master. Go ahead.
I want to just end with two things. Your database is your future bank account.
Yep.
Right? I say that to my team all the time. And who wants to put a couple deals under contract, or who wants 2 listings this week? Call everybody that you've sold a property to in the last 3 years. 80% of the people that bought a home during COVID are unhappy with the purchase, and now they have all this equity, and you can sell that property and you can finally get them into the property that they want. We talked about it. We had somebody that's exactly what I'm doing, and we were talking about this in our team and coaching call this morning. So don't do what people used to do many years ago. They sell a house and they forget about them, right? These people don't turn 1 old sale, make it 3 total sales. So I just wanted to share that. So
No, that's great stuff, Dave. And
got another Zoom, so I got to run, but thanks everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
You guys, thanks for attending this week. I mean, we could go on and on. Mitch could go on for around 6 months, but here's the deal. I'm going to leave you with this one thought. You have connections, you have relationships. Tap into that instead of sitting on your hands and complaining that you don't have any leads, because the leads are right in front of your face. You just have to pick up the phone or go see people in person. That's it. That's it. Get in early, start calling people. You have the most energy in the morning, set up appointments, stop by and go see them. And that's where you'll create your business majority of the time. That's it.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Everybody
next
have a
week.
great weekend. See you next week.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.